And we're live. Hello, you might remember I streamed this game a few months ago. I've played it a fair bit since then, I've beaten what is one of the hardest modes, but there's a bunch of other achievements I haven't gotten. The achievements are either to get a certain number of points in one run, or to beat the hardest run for every type, which is 50 floors. I kind of want to grind them all out, so I'll do that today. We'll do them in order as they come up. Two mimics, so these all have to be correct. This contradicts them, so it's wrong. Are you sure you're not a mimic though? I kind of don't trust you. Diagonal downtrend is a mimic, which is also correct. So the bottom row has more mimics than the top, and then this is the other mimic. I'll play Arknights more when there's some new content out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do CC though. I've hated CC for a long time. The last time I properly played CC was in CC5, like 3 years ago. Okay, so all the mimics are the same color. One mimic is in a black box, one mimic is in a red box. Have these two saying the same things, and this one saying the same things. We have a contradiction somewhere. There are more mimics in blue than black. We don't have any contradiction, so we're gonna have to try experimenting. Say these two boxes are wrong. That would mean that everything else is correct. So all the mimics are the same color, meaning that this isn't a mimic, and there's a mimic in a black box and a red box. We have a contradiction here, so these ones can't be wrong. Because if then the thing the other boxes are saying are nonsense. So we should be able to open these ones. Same number of mimics in blue and red boxes. So for example, we can have it like this. One mimic is in a red box, there is no mimic in a black box. And there are more mimics in blue than black boxes. This is entirely possible. We can also have it the other way around, where there are 0 mimics in there, in which case this is correct, and all the mimics are the same color, which means this is correct. And then these would have to be the wrong ones. Should be the other way around, unless I'm being stupid. Because this can't be true. So unless I'm high, these two should be the mimics. Extra health. Diagonal down left from me is a mimic. So we know for sure one of these two has to be a mimic, so there's only one mimic left. Which means that this box cannot be a mimic, because if it was a mimic, then this is a mimic and that's 3 mimics with this one here. So these are safe to open. None of the red boxes contain any gold is a useless statement. We can also tell it's correct, because this one has gold. But this can be a mimic and it won't contain any gold, or it can contain something else. So no helpful statement here. There's some gold in the black box is correct, which means that this is wrong. Same number of mimics in top and bottom rows. This is necessarily correct, meaning that this is the wrong one. By the way, we're playing the game with no upgrades, so our attack is really low on the early floors. This is automatically correct, because a mimic cannot say there is a mimic in the red box, if it's a red box. Because that's a true statement, and they always lie. Except in the mode where mimics don't always lie, but that's a different thing. So that means this is automatically a mimic, because it's the only red box. There's no goat in the box to my right, and this is the other mimic, so everything else is correct. We don't have to read them, because there's only 2 mimics. By the way, I'm almost done with the 6-star video. We should have it out tomorrow. This protects the swans, which is probably what I should get, because otherwise I'm going to die from reading the chat. But screw it, we're gonna risk it. Top row has more mimics than bottom, same number of mimics in top and bottom rows. This is a contradiction, but never mind. Top row has more mimics, top row has more mimics, top row has more mimics, so this is definitely wrong. Because of we know there's only 2 mimics, it means that there cannot be a mimic on the bottom. Because at most there can be 1 more mimic, and if there is 1 mimic on the bottom, then out of 3 of these chests are wrong, so both of these chests are safe. Yes, mimics will insta-kill you. There is an item that prevents the insta-kill that I didn't get, because I'm more afraid of the early fights than I am of the mimics. Though we're fairly well equipped, so we would have won the fight easily. Some food, because otherwise you'll starve to death. Sell over other crap, which amounts to nothing. Yes, I am a mimic. And we'll get 2 blue crystals. They tell us a chest that isn't a mimic. Useful for breaking 50-50s. Okay, so now we have 3 mimics, but there's more chests. These 2 contradict, so there's 1 there. Same number of mimics in top and bottom. No direct contradiction. The right row has more than the left, same number as left and right. So these 2 contradict. And now we're looking if we have a chest where both chests say the same thing. This one's just saying that this is a mimic. So one of these has to be a mimic then, right? Because there's no other black chest. Which means that this, and this are all safe to open. Which means that this is a mimic, and this is safe to open. Huh? Yeah, I think so. Let's find out. 2 mimics left. Same number on left and right. That's valid if this is a mimic. And this is valid if this is a mimic. So no obvious contradiction there. Same number of mimics in top or bottom. Means there's only 1 mimic here, but we already knew that. No new information. So we basically have a typical 50-50. Let's check with this. If this is correct, this is wrong, and then one of these is a mimic. And yeah, that works the other way around too. Blue crystal time to break up the 50-50. The right row has more mimics than the left. So this is a mimic. Same number of mimics on left and right. Not sure that helps with the other one, because both of these will work. This is correct now. If this is correct, that also works. I don't want to spend my other blue crystal though, so I'm just leaving. How do you want me to prove it? Do you want me to eat you? Okay, so 1 is in the black boxes. There is a contradiction here. There is some gold hiding in a black box, that's correct. So essentially we can translate this box to saying there is no mimic among the red boxes. Sorry, among the blue boxes. Because that's what it's arguing against by calling this box a mimic. If this box is wrong, this is correct. None of the blue boxes contain any gold would be correct. And we have a contradiction here. So most likely it's going to look something like this. Not 100% sure though, so let's just double check. If a chest says that it doesn't contain a mimic, like this, that's what it almost always is. There's 3 gold, we have 1 gold here and 1 gold here, so it's possible for a blue box to contain a mimic still. Let's assume all 3 of these are correct. There is no mimic among the blue boxes. Then these have to be wrong. It's still possible for the blue boxes not to contain any gold, but unlikely. It's kind of a 50-50. Yeah, it was obviously that one. Feel like I missed some chain of logic there. Yeah, but whatever. Blue crystals aren't that expensive. Buy all of the health potions, we might need them later. And all of the attack we can get. 3 chests saying all mimics are the same color. Now, do we have a contradiction somewhere else? If we have 1 contradiction, we can prove them all. There is no mimics among the blue box. Yeah, they can be, because this chest confirms them. We don't even need a contradiction. And because we know they're all the same colors, it means the red chests are guilty. Because, well, there's not enough black chests. Murder the birds! We'll get to the more complicated modes in a bit. 1 contradiction here, so 1 mimic has to be here, meaning that these have to be correct. Because there's not enough mimic otherwise. So this one has to be wrong. There's no contradiction here because this is a red chest. Oh, good weapon. 1 mimic here, 1 mimic here. See what. So let's say these are wrong. Then this is also wrong. That's not possible. There's not enough mimics for these to be wrong, so these 2 have to be correct. Then one of these is a mimic, and this is a mimic. Or maybe not. But this one's definitely. So 1 left. And they're just in a shouting match with each other. We know not all mimics are the same color, so the red box cannot be a mimic, because we need the black box to be a mimic, otherwise it makes no sense. Hooray! Healing. Now there's only 1 room left before the big heal. I'll take the max health. Mimic among the red boxes. So we know this one is wrong, because we know this is right, because this is right. These are all arguing. So there's 1 mimic here, by necessity, and 1 mimic here. So the one saying there's gold in the blue box should be correct, because we don't have enough mimics otherwise. There's some gold hiding somewhere in the blue box, and there is only one blue box left, which is this one, meaning that these two boxes should be correct, because they say the same thing. This game is so much easier when the non-mimic chests aren't lying to you constantly. The highest difficulty makes it so all of the chests just lie. So you can never trust what any of them say without going through 5 different levels of logic. How much damage did that do? Okay, not enough. Didn't even have to use any healing. Hooray! We're almost on the last floor. I will buy a charm if we have it now. No charm though. That's fine. All the healing and attack. And a whetstone just in case our weapon starts breaking. Okay, let's assume this is correct. Then all 3 of these are wrong. And that would mean that this has to be correct, because there are enough mimics left. They are contradicting, so that doesn't work. Also, it's also contradicting with this, etc, etc. So this is wrong. That doesn't mean there aren't 2 mimics in the boxes, of course. We know this is correct, by necessity. The top row has more mimics than the bottom. This can be true or false. The bottom row has more mimics than the top. No contradiction here, so that accounts for 2 mimics. Let's see what else we have. Finally, we have a contradiction here. 1 mimic versus 2 mimics. So all of this should be safe to open. Mimic in black box, 1 mimic is hiding in black box. Just to follow my logic, is because there's only 3 mimics. We know this is a mimic, because all of the red boxes being mimics is impossible. 1 mimic and 2 mimics are contradicting, so one of them is a mimic. And the bottom row has more mimics and the top row has more mimics are contradicting, so one of them has a mimic. That's all 3 mimics. So every other box should be safe to open. We now know that this is wrong, so this is correct. And the top row has more mimics than the bottom, because there's not enough chests left there. Three mimics are hiding in blue boxes. Same exercise, but quicker. We know there's a mimic here, so this is wrong. And since this is wrong, we know not all the mimics are the same color. Because there's 3 of these, there's no longer enough mimics. And we know the right row has more mimics than the left is wrong, because there's 2 mimics here. So everything else should be free to open. Hi, mimic. Actually, they'll die in 2 hits anyway. No need to waste durability. Contradiction here. Contradiction here. This one should be fairly easy. So let's say this is wrong, then this is wrong. Then this has to be right. That's correct, but we have a mimic left over here, so that doesn't really work. Meaning that this box can't be a mimic. It has too much support. So 0 mimics are hiding in blue boxes. So that's 2 of them. near the end of the first run. There is a mimic among the red boxes, more mimics in blue than red, same in red and black, some gold, not all mimics are the same color. This one's all over the place. I have a bunch of blue crystals, so I'll just spam them out if I can't figure anything out. Assuming this is wrong, these are both correct. Not all mimics are the same color. There are more mimics in blue than red boxes, so one of these has to be a mimics. And we have a contradiction here, so that's wrong. Then the other mimic has to be blue, and that leads to a contradiction. So it doesn't work if this box is wrong, that leads to pure nonsense, so one of these boxes has to be a mimic. Let's try the same thing here, real quick. Yeah, this one's pretty annoying. So, we're assuming this is correct. It isn't necessarily correct. But we get this if it's correct, and then the other mimic has to be a black box. Same number of mimics. Okay, so this is what it looks like if this box is correct. Not all mimics are the same color, check. None of the red boxes contain any gold, we have to open to see. There's gold in a black box, we have to open to see. There's no contradiction, but it could be arranged for some other way. If this is wrong, then we have a mimic here, and a mimic among the red and blue boxes. So these two have to be safe to open. That doesn't contradict. And these are going to be correct, because we know there's a mimic among the blue and red boxes. None of the red boxes contain any gold. Yeah, again, stuff we need to open. There's not enough information. Time to cheat. There's gold in a blue box. That's not terribly useful. These are almost certainly correct, by the way. But I only have one or two more floors to go. Yeah, I'm stupid, I should have opened this box, because it was confirmed by this box. That's fine. I'm just going through this level so I can unlock the 50th floor version. Let's bust it open. Yeah, these were almost certainly correct, because they were correct in the other version. And we know this is wrong, because we have gold here. And this is wrong. And this is wrong, so we can safely open this. This looked solvable. No. My brain got lazy and I didn't wanna risk it. So close to the end. Okay, last floor. Same number in top or bottom. There's nothing directly contradicting this, which is annoying. I hate the ones that tell you where there's gold. They're a bit bullshitty because you need to open something to see whether there's gold there or not. Hello, Justin. There are more mimics in red than black. The game is called Mimic Logic. It's $4 on Steam. Basically a logic puzzle roguelike. I am going to heavily recommend it. It's very fun. Okay, so assuming these are wrong, you only have one more mimic left. Then this has to be correct. Not all mimics of the same color is correct. Yeah, this one's kind of bullshitty. I don't see a good logic thread to take. Because just because the box doesn't have gold in it, doesn't mean there's a mimic. So unless I can open a box, a lot of these statements are a bit useless. For example, it could just have an item instead. Or it could be a mimic, because mimics obviously don't have gold in them. Yeah, but I need to open some of them to know. So we know there's only one pieces of gold, and we're gonna try to figure that out from contradictions. Let's eat something before we starve to death. This is the last puzzle in the game, so I don't want to open anything unless I'm absolutely sure. Okay, so we can only have one piece of gold. The box on the left has some gold in it, the box above me has some gold, the box below me has some gold in it. So, for example, if this has gold in it, and this is correct, that means this has to be wrong, and this has to be wrong. And then we get the same number of mimics in top or bottom, which isn't possible. So this box is probably a mimic. So we can avoid opening it. Of course, that doesn't tell me if this box is a mimic or not. I think these ones should be correct, because we can't have gold in all of those. Okay, so that tells us this is a mimic, which we already knew. And not all mimics are the same color is correct, because there's not enough red chests. There are more mimics in red than black boxes. This is possible, so we don't know. We know... okay, now we know. This is correct, and that's where all of the gold is. So any other box saying there's gold somewhere has to be a mimic. And then it's a 50-50 between. Okay, no, this is just correct, because its statement isn't a lie. Okay, we're out of here. This guy gives us some extra attack for opening a bunch of chests. Best equipment, sell over other trash, and buy out the entire shop. Naturally, you always get mimic protection on the last floor, when there's no mimics left. On to the boss fight. It's just a big stat check. The fights here are mostly just to convince you to actually open chests, because you can skip every chest on your way down. Ooh, a lot of damage. Okay, we should have enough healing pots, because we only need to survive one more hit. Wait, I'm stupid, I had more attack. Oh, the fight could have been over already. That would have been a really stupid way to die, if I didn't have so many healing pots. Ah well, just as well. Doesn't matter if you're stupid if your stats are high enough. And now we get to do the same thing but with 50 floors. 50 floors start simpler, but you have to do it for much longer. So charms become a big priority, because it takes so long to get through. One mimic here, one mimic here, so the other ones are safe to open. So we know they're side by side. So for example, we can have it this, or it can be like this. Hooray! 50-50. This can't be a mimic, because if they're mimics, they're lying. And if they're lying, it means they're saying that the two mimics are not neighbors, which doesn't work. Also, this box is saying there's this one is a mimic. meaning this one's also wrong. And then this is the other one. The box below me is a mimic, so one of these has to be. This one is correct because it's on the bottom row. So it's not possible for this box to be wrong. If this box is wrong, this one is correct. We still need a mimic on the bottom. And then this one is wrong. So this box is correct, this one is wrong, this is correct. And one of these boxes is a mimic with no way to tell. Because we already have one mimic. We can have more than one though. Either one of these can be a mimic and we have no blue crystal to check. Hooray for one shots, preserving health. Box on the right is a mimic, box on the right is a mimic. So we know these two are safe, because these ones are arguing amongst them. This is 100% a mimic. You cannot have both of these boxes be mimic. So this one is correct, but there's no way to tell with the other two. So many 50-50s. Removing the whip so we can sell it. The box on the left is a mimic. Okay. This is definitely correct, I'm just showing why. If this isn't a mimic, all three of these has to be a mimic. So it's the mimic one. There are more mimics in blue than red, not necessarily true. And this one can just be a lie. So if this is true, that works, and that works that way too. Another 50-50. The early floors are for stating an expert. Okay, now we can get some blue orbs. Well, not that we have any money with which to get them, but we can try. We'll skip the food, we have enough stats. Mimic among red. Diagonal upright from me is a mimic. Okay, so if this is correct, then it looks like this. That should just be it, right? Just double checking. But if we flip it around, it has to look like this. Which doesn't work, because there's too many mimics. So these are the wrong ones. Contradiction here. This one is also accusing that one, this one's accusing that one, and these ones are... Okay, we have two boxes accusing this one. So if this box isn't a mimic, then these two are mimic and we have a mimic here. Meaning that this one is definitely a mimic, because only two mimics. And since this box is calling this a mimic, while being a mimic itself, this one is correct, meaning this one is wrong. Extra damage, why not? This is correct, so this is correct. These ones are calling each other mimics. This one is just wrong, so the other two are safe to open. And we have no information to know which one is the mimic. We'll burn a blue crystal. It's barely worth using a blue crystal for one box. It didn't even refund the money that it cost. A blue crystal is 130 gold. But it also gives XP. And some candy in the end if you open enough chests. So screw it. We'll open as many as we can. This one's messy. A bit lacking in direct contradictions. Okay. Let's assume this one is correct. Then this is wrong. And it looks like this. All the mimics are the same color. This one is lying and this one is lying. So this one is definitely not correct. This is a mimic, which means these are safe to open, which means that kind of doesn't work. What am I missing here? Because if this is a mimic, it means that the bottom row doesn't have any mimics. And then it's diagonal up left from me is not a mimic. Pardon, is a mimic. That doesn't work. So this box can't be wrong. It's a paradox. Yeah, if I open a mimic I instantly lose. So if this is correct, one of these has to be a mimic, which means that this is a liar. Diagonal up left from me is a mimic. So since this is correct, there is a mimic among the black boxes. What? I'm either having some Herculean failure in logic here, or something is off. Because the patterns I get don't make any sense regardless of whether this is a mimic or not. Okay, just throw everything in the tub. Yeah, they can both be mimics. I'm not misunderstanding it. I know they can both be mimics, or none of them can be mimics, depending on whether it's correct or not. Here's where I get the problem. No, the negation is there are no mimics. The negation is this: the top row contains no mimics. This is the alternative variant. If this is correct, then this is 100% correct. That's how it works. Imagine if this said the top row has at least one mimic. This is the negation of this. Anyway, let's I probably made a mistake somewhere, so let's just flush everything we did and start over. So assuming this one is false, this is correct, this one is false, and then this one has to be correct. There is no mimic among the black boxes. So the top row has no mimics, and all the mimics are the same color. Okay, this is it. I just messed up something earlier. So this is almost certainly how it should look like. Because I messed up, let's just do the other version. If this box is true, it means this box is wrong. No, this is what I'm messing up. This is pointing to a different box entirely. It's not relevant to this. It's left, not right. For some reason I treated it as if it's pointing to the right. Misreading is dangerous. Okay, so we have to throw away everything. Bottom left and top right are the same. Not sure what you mean. Anyway, this box is referring to this box. So if this is correct, this is a mimic, this is correct. The other mimic has to be a blue box, which doesn't work. So we know for certain that this box isn't correct, because the pattern it produces makes a contradiction. I just misread it, is all. So this has to be wrong, because otherwise we end up with nonsense. Diagonal up left from me is a mimic. We know that's not true, which should tell us where all of the boxes are. Now there's a mimic in the red boxes, no mimic in the black boxes. Two mimics are different colors. The bottom row has one, this should be it. I kind of got lost here, so let's see if I fucked something up. I guess not. Not a hard one, I just messed up at the start. And then stuck with the RNS logic for too long. Eat food before I starve to death. Oh, sleepers are nasty. There is a mimic among the red boxes. This one is wrong. This one is correct, meaning this one is wrong, and it doesn't matter what these ones say. Just to show that, we see there's goat here, this one says there's goat, so all three of these are correct. This one contradicts, and this one also contradicts. Also, it's the only red chest left. Chest is sleeping. You have an item that lets you wake it up, and then it gives you a statement. But I didn't need to wake it up, so I didn't use the item, even though I had it. Sleeping chests can be a mimic or not. This is a bit nasty. I'll need to... Yay! 2 health. I get to not use a potion. Good job, medic. Full heal. No charm still, so mimics are still deadly, and just buy all of the attack. And some bread in case we starve to death by messing up puzzles. So this is just saying that this isn't a mimic. If they're both wrong, then everything else has to be correct, which doesn't work. Ergo, we can conclude that this chest is safe. Which does not mean this chest is safe, for the record. There are more mimics in blue than red boxes. There are more mimics in blue than black boxes. We know this is correct, because there is only one black box. This is possible. But we will hold on. This is correct, because we can see same number of mimics in red and black. We know this is a mimic, so this is possible. And this is saying there's more. Okay, so this is just telling us there are more mimics in blue than red boxes. If they both had one, that wouldn't work. And because we're not playing the hardest versions, chests that we have opened are definitely true. We'll get to the hardest ones too. They require very different logic. One mimic is hiding in a red box. There are more mimics in red than blue boxes. So that essentially means there's at least one mimic in a red box. You can interpret it that way too. When we have 2 mimics, of course. So there's 3 boxes accusing this one of being a mimic, so they have to be correct. Why did I? Let's see where I messed up. Oh yeah, this is where I fucked up. This means there's at least one mimic in a red box, but it doesn't say there isn't a mimic in a blue box. The other 2 were safe to open, but I couldn't open that one. Oops. Bad logic. How long did we last before opening a mimic? 45 minutes. Not bad. Okay, so we have one contradiction here, so these have to be correct, because there's together and there's only 2 mimics. So that means this is correct, and this is correct, and we're done. Hooray, no 50-50 on the first floor. We have a contradiction here, so this is correct, so all of these are correct, and we're done. I love contradictions. this is what happens if this box is a mimic, so we can infer that all three of these are correct. Otherwise we get too many mimics. And that means the other two were wrong. Save the shovel, because it's worth about 5 gold. So important to keep. Same logic here. Assuming this is a mimic, then all three of these have to be a mimic, and that just doesn't work, because we don't have enough. So, since these are all mimics, this is a mimic, and then we have a 50-50. But we have a blue crystal this time. Nah, shit. Save the shovel. It doesn't even change the number of hits they're going to take to die. Yeah, it was a really stupid one. The box on the left is a mimic. Okay. Let's assume this is correct, then these are wrong. Then that doesn't work, because these contradict, so this has to be a mimic. These are correct, which means the only possible mimic is this. I like how the staff has a gun equip sound. We'll skip the food again. Sell our shovel for 5 gold. Oh damn, 16 gold. Good shovel. Downright is a mimic. Upright from me is a mimic. So all of these are safe to open. These contradicted these two, and we knew it was true, because there weren't enough mimics to go around. If these are wrong, we have a contradiction here, so this is correct. The top row has more mimics than the bottom is wrong, obviously, because we have a contradiction here. And we have two chests saying a bottom has more mimics, so this is where the last mimic is. Five health is fine, we're not gonna die. One mimic here. If this is a mimic, then this is a mimic. Oops, wrong direction. Then this is a mimic, which doesn't work because we have one mimic here. So these are necessarily correct, which means that all of these are correct. And then we have boxes arguing here. Never mind. Watch. All the mimics are the same color, no direct contradiction. Bottom row has at least one. Okay, so all of the mimics are here. We have two chests saying there is no mimic on the bottom, and two chests saying there is a mimic on the bottom. So both mimics are here. So top row contains no mimics, all mimics are the same color, and there is a mimic among the black boxes. meaning the red box has to be correct, and these two are the wrong ones. Five more health. We're going to get back to where we were pretty quickly. Get to the next floor or die. Okay. Diagonal down left from me is another mimic. None of the blue boxes contain. 2 black boxes, 1 red box. Wait, this one's kind of shitty. Okay, so this is the only thing we can try. Okay, so this isn't wrong. Since this isn't wrong, one of these has to be. How much gold do we have? We still have 1 more gold left. This is wrong. I can't select that. That one can also be wrong. I can't for sure know if there's a mimic in the black boxes. That was the most useless possible box you could have given me. And we don't for sure know anything. This box can still contain gold. Because it can be like this. No, that doesn't work, so this has to be correct. Because there's not enough boxes to go around otherwise. Since this is correct... is there any way to break this? There is a mimic among the black boxes, none of these contain. 1 mimic is hiding in a blue box, I'm being stupid. I wasted the blue crystal out of panicking, it didn't give me anything useful. I forgot the box that said 1 mimic is in a blue box. That was the answer. That let me solve everything. I just forgot about it. And didn't include it in any logic chain. That's the horror of timer mimics. We'll repair the armor, because we don't know if we will get a better one. And buy out all the attack. I wasted 200 gold. I already had one. We're still on 2 mimics, so... If these are wrong, that means there's a mimic here, which doesn't work, so these are correct. There are more mimics in red than blue boxes. Isn't necessarily correct, but this is correct. Okay, now this is correct. So, I think these two should be wrong, unless I'm messing up something. No, this isn't necessarily correct, don't open that one. Because there's still more mimics in red than blue boxes. Wait, no, it is correct. If it's wrong, then the statement is wrong. I'm overthinking. Not all mimics. Bottom row has more mimics than the top. More mimics in red than blue, same number. So a contradiction here makes all of the other double statements correct. So this is 100% a mimic, and there are more mimics than red than blue boxes. Is inherently correct because there's 0 mimics, we know there's one here. Oh really? I've streamed it once before. You should check out the other stream from a few months ago. There was a copious amount of boost involved in its production. Gold in top row. Box on the right is a mimic. So there's one here. Looking for a contradiction now. Okay, there are no mimics in blue. Sorry, there are more mimics in blue than black. More mimics in black than blue. We have one contradiction, 2 contradictions. Meaning, because we only have 2 mimics, everything else is safe to open. Now, how does that help us? There's gold somewhere in the bottom row. We know this is wrong, so this is correct. And finally, there are more mimics in black than blue boxes. This has to be wrong, because there's only one black box. So blue than black is correct. Ooh, 360 gold. Yep, the game is called Mimic Logic. I heavily recommend it. Great for waking up in the morning. Gold in top row, gold in bottom row. Top row has more mimics than the bottom. Top row has more, top row has more. So this is a mimic and this isn't a mimic. And then we will figure out which one of this is a mimic when we open everything. There is gold somewhere in the bottom row. This one solved itself. A pause time strategy game, huh? Yeah, I'd agree with that. Though I don't think I've ever seen anyone call Arknights an RTS either. Again, 2 mimics, 3 chests saying the same thing. So we know 1 black and 1 blue chest. Same number of mimics in blue and red boxes. This is wrong. There are more mimics in blue than red. I didn't even need to read that one. There are more mimics in blue than red boxes, correct. Repair the stuff. I have too many whetstones. And drink 1 potion because I think the birds one-shot. Nice damage. Okay, now we need to regenerate a bunch of health. Or I can just throw knives at it, I guess. Nah, knives don't do enough damage. Anything cheaper I can use? Wait, how much damage will it do? Not enough to kill me. There is a warning if the attack will kill you. That's why I swung at it without remembering the exact health. If it was going to kill me, to tell me this attack may kill you, are you sure? If all you need for an RTS is currency, then this game is an RTS. It's way more than a stretch, I think, to call Arknights an RTS. Okay, now we're in the hard part. Oh, fuck off. One contradiction here. There are more mimics in blue than black. This doesn't help me. This doesn't help. What if it looks like this? There are more mimics in blue than black boxes, correct. There are more mimics in red than black boxes. Can be correct. There is a mimic among the red boxes. There is a mimic... Yeah, fuck, that doesn't help me. Because that might still be right. Try to blue crystal. Oh, for fuck's sake, why is it always that one? Like, that box can be a mimic. You can't just assume it's correct and open it. There is no mimic among the black boxes. Okay, that helps. There are more mimics in it. Open faster, please. There are more mimics in blue than black boxes. This has to be correct and... Okay, we're done. Go, 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 go. There is a mimic among the blue boxes and there is a mimic on the bottom. This one is wrong, because it contradicts that one. This one is wrong, because it contradicts this one. These ones are arguing with each other, so that should account for every mimic, I think. There's some gold somewhere in the top row. The top row contains no mimics, and the left... Let me double check my logic on why this one contradicts. Say this one is correct, and we open it, there should be gold in it. Because this one is saying there's gold in the bottom row, if it's a mimic. If this one is correct, that means this has to be wrong, and then we know there's no gold. So yeah, there's a contradiction here, so every other chest should be safe to open. Okay, that gives us the solution. We know there's no goat in the bottom row, because we have 2 goat here, and there's a total of 2 goat. Also, we got the super shotgun. Now we're armed. Hi, Peter. We're doing expert 50 floors. I'm doing all the ones I haven't cleared yet. So, you know, the 50 floors and the 7000 scores. We'll get to the more annoying ones later. Box above is a mimic. This one is inherently correct. What else do we have? So we know there's one mimic here, right? So there's no way these can be wrong, because there's one mimic here and one mimic here. And then the rightmost column contains no mimics. So that's almost everything. We know this is wrong, so there is a mimic among the black boxes. That doesn't work. Let's start over. So there's one mimic here, because this box is claiming it's a mimic. And since true boxes don't lie, one of them has to be. Then we know the top row has to have at least one mimic, so one of these has to be a mimic. The rightmost column, so since there's only one mimic left, these cannot be wrong. Since the rightmost column, this one doesn't contain any mimics, these ones both have to be correct. Since these are correct, and we know for sure this is a mimic, and there can only be one mimic here. Okay, yeah. It was fine. It's just that I forgot that this is a black box. I was thinking about the contradiction between the left black box and the bottom blue box, and completely forgot about the top box. Bless the shotgun carrying fights. I wish Genshin had mimics. Same number of mimics on left and right. Top row has one, rightmost. Okay, so we know this is correct. Let's group them up. Left and right ones. And same for top and bottom. Okay, so there's a mimic here. Same number of mimics in top and bottom. And these one are saying, so we have another contradiction here. Not particularly helpful. It's time for some guesswork, I think. Yeah, despite the name expert, it's actually one of the easiest difficulties. We'll get some goofier shit later. Okay, so assuming left and right thing is correct. Let's just assume it's wrong, because it's easier. Then its opposite has to be right. The right row has more mimics than the left, which would necessarily mean that there's no mimic here. And this isn't possible, so we know this version of it is wrong. So if they're correct, then the opposite is wrong. The right row has more mimics than the left is wrong. With only 2 mimics left, it would have to mean that there's 0 mimics on the right. Anything I'm missing here? Bottom left is probably fine, or maybe not. We'll see later. If this is true, then this is definitely a mimic, so it's not fine. Been going for too long. Okay, so let's start over the logic, because I forgot my train of thought. So, if this is wrong, it's a mimic, so there's only 2 mimics left. We can't have one mimic here, one mimic here. No, we can, yeah. So we can't safely open these other boxes. I do think this should be safe. So we know we have one mimic here and one mimic here exactly. This is 100% a mimic, so these two boxes are safe. Bottom has rightmost, you're both useless to me. Bottom row has more mimics than the top. Okay, we're done. This was easy, I just lost my train of thought. Ew, lucky magic, no damage. Bless the shotgun. There's goat. Okay, these are all the boxes that are calling something a mimic, so this has to be right. So this has to be correct, because if it's wrong, we end up with a million mimics and then we don't have enough for there. So first mimic is here. Wait, fuck. Were they all mimics or what? Oh no, I'm just not reading. For some reason I read this as the box above me. Oops. I ran out of attention span. That's the true challenge of the 50 floors. I need to not misread anything. So this one is wrong. Two boxes saying the same things. Correct. And the bottom row has at least one mimic. I didn't restart, I died because I misread something. Yeah, reading gets really hard when you start when you do it for an hour. The top row has at least one mimic, so by necessity they're both mimics. There are items that keep you alive when you fail. I didn't have one of them though. Contradiction here means these two are correct, so this is wrong. This is correct, and then this is RNG. Actually, it's not, because mimic have to be side by side. Oh, I'm not reading, I'm just guessing what the mimics do from the shape of the text. Because, you know, different messages look different, so I'm just like reading hieroglyphics. Mimic in black boxes, mimic in black boxes. I get it, there's a mimic in the black box. One of these is a contradiction, and this is a liar. Is that a 50-50? So if this is wrong, two of the mimics are not neighbors, that works. Yeah, it's 50-50. Do we happen to have a blue crystal? Nope, moving on. The box on the left isn't a mimic. It doesn't work for this to be a mimic, because then we have another mimic here. So this one is correct. Two mimics in black boxes means this is correct. And yeah, that should be it. Tanky Goblin. Oh, the size survived. Nice. Extra 50 gold. We're selling it because it doesn't have that much damage. And it's not worth repairing it. This is the thing that keeps you alive from mimics. For the record. No. The sister damage scales with items. The box on the right is a mimic. One of these has to be true. There are more mimics in red than blue boxes. It's possible. Same number of mimics in blue and black boxes. So if it looked like this, there are more mimics in black than red. Diagonal upright from me isn't a mimic. That doesn't really work. Let's try from this chest, because it's simpler. Then this is a mimic. Then this is a mimic. There are more mimics in red than blue boxes. Then that doesn't work, because it's untrue. So this should be correct. There are more mimics in black than red boxes is wrong. Since there's one here, we can still have the same number, don't assume. This is correct, meaning this is wrong. And okay, now we're fine. Next floor. Down left, up right, everything else is safe to open. That's just a chain though. So all that tells me is that these two are both mimics. Okay, let's go and actually read the other chests. Diagonal up left from me isn't a mimic, so the mimics are the same color. Okay, these two say the same things. So this is a mimic, and this isn't. There is a mimic among the blue boxes. The box on the left is a mimic. Diagonal down left from me isn't a mimic. Diagonal down left from me isn't a mimic. So if this is wrong, then this is wrong. And this is wrong. That doesn't work. If this is correct, should be like this. Not all mimics are the same color, no contradiction. Okay, we're going to the mimic box then. Up left is a mimic. The box on the left, that just forms a chain. But since we know we have a mimic there, then these two are safe, so the bottom row contains no mimics. I'm running on some amount of sleep too. Couldn't tell you how much. And now we just check the line. Assuming this is correct. That doesn't work, so it has to be the other way around. Namely, this has to be wrong, this has to be correct, and then this is a mimic. Upgrades, hooray. Sometimes this guy sells charms on the cheap to keep us alive from mimics. I didn't get it earlier because I play with no upgrades. So if I don't get damage at the start, I'm very likely to just die. Oh no, it's the goat chains. The worst thing possible. Okay, we have a contradiction here. Same number mimics in blue and red, more mimics in red than blue. So we know one of the mimics is there. And the rest are just some goat bullshit. We have 3 goats, so there's entirely too much goat to try and figure it out. Blue crystalling. Wait, shit, we don't have any blue crystals. Okay, let's see if we can logic this out or not. Because we don't know where any of the gold is. We're going to assume these are wrong. Because it's the simplest line to start with. Same number of mimics in blue and red boxes. Diagonal up left has some gold. Down right has no gold. These are all useless. There's no gold in the box to my right, makes sense. You get some extra attack candy in the end if you've opened enough chests. You do get a penalty for not opening chests throughout the run, because they're the items you need to fight. You can technically go to the end with 0 chests if you have enough items, but you get the items from the chest. And there is no goat in the box to my right. So this technically makes sense. Let's see if we can imagine a different pattern where these are correct. Wait, I didn't check that to the end. Let me just... Same number of mimics in blue and red boxes. Yeah, that makes sense. So this one looks right, but let's check the other version. If these are correct, then there are more mimics in red than blue boxes. By necessity, that means there is no mimic in this box. Same number of mimics in blue and red is wrong, therefore. And then we just end up with nonsense until we open a chest. Because there's no way to tell for sure where the gold is. It was probably the first one, but maybe it's not. I don't want to die 20 floors in. So we're gonna skip. Yeah, blue was definitely right. I could have probably opened it from there. I forgot that trick. If one is right in both variations, you can probably open it. In confusion, that doesn't always follow. Yay, blue crystals. Kinda fucked myself there. By not opening it though, you're completely right. It works in this kind of setup. No, if I opened blue, I could open everything else. Because I had context then. We would know whether blue has gold in it or not. And other chests were referring to that. Anyhow. More mimics in red than blue, more mimics in red than blue. So again, we know one mimic has to be here. Assuming this is wrong, and then we have one mimic here, so that doesn't work, so this is correct. There are more mimics in red than blue boxes. Since we know that's true, these are all correct. Actually, yeah, that's it, we're done. One contradiction here. Expanded never mind. 3 of them are saying this, so we instantly have the answer. We don't need to do any thinking. Oh, we got the big cheese from Roshan. If I occasionally play on CN, does that make me not an EN player then? Or do I have to delete my EN account for that? Top row has at least one mimic, so bottom has no mimics. This is correct. None of the black boxes contain any gold. Let's find out. This is correct, so the other one is a mimic. All done. Can I repair this axe because it's frustrating me? Not really. Back to the sickle thing. Actually this. The birds are wrecking me. Throw knives at it. Knives are more expendable than healing potions. I might throw knives at the one that I'm going to one-shot anyway. What the hell is wrong with me? Yeah, this isn't worth using. Oh, bye, good axe. More mimics in black than red. So assuming these ones are wrong, everything else has to be right. There are more mimics in blue than red boxes. That's also wrong, so that doesn't work. None of the blue boxes. There are more mimics in black than blue. Okay, we have a contradiction here, so these two have to be wrong. Since there are more mimics in black than red, that would require these to be correct, because if one mimic here, they're equal. We can't assume just yet. We know this is correct. And we know the blue box doesn't have any gold, because there's only 2 gold left. Actually that's it, yeah. Ooh, 4 health. Time to pull out the cheese. I get the distinct impression that fighting this wasn't a particularly bright idea. Ah well, I'm already committed. Gold in black box. Same number. Bottom, bottom, bottom. They're all bottom, so they're all correct together. The bottom row has more mimics. And this contradicts, so this should be it. I might actually die here. $32, this will heal for 10, which isn't enough. So we are rolling the gacha medicine. Saved by the gacha medicine. Just barely. I hate the gacha medicine. It always just does some random bullshit that screws you over. For once, when I had 3 of them, it worked in my favor. Do we have a whetstone? You do not. Okay, let's sell our damaged weapon. And then buy a new one. It doesn't cost that much. Blue crystals, more healing, and all of the attack. That was really close. I almost died. There is a mimic among the blue boxes. So we know all of these are right. Top row has more mimics than the bottom. Bottom row has more mimics than the top. Oh, one of these has to be a mimic. Okay, so assuming these are both wrong, there are 2 mimics in the boxes, it doesn't work. 4th mimic. So that's not the combination we should be looking for. There is a mimic among the red boxes. If this is true, we get the bottom row has more mimics than the top, which also becomes untrue. Because that would require either for the top to have no mimic at all. No, wait, I messed up. The other version should be correct. There is a mimic among the red boxes. So if it's like this, the bottom row has more mimics than the top. And this is wrong. Wait, no. I lost my train of thought completely. Let's start over. Dump everything. So we know this is a mimic for sure. So there's 2 mimics left on the loose. One of them is here, so only one of these three statements can be wrong. Assuming this statement is the wrong one, then these two have to be correct, meaning there would be no mimic among the black box. Then this is correct, and this so matches. The top row has less mimics than the bottom. Alternatively, if this is correct, and there is a mimic among the red boxes, that doesn't say anything about this one here. Because one of these could be a mimic too. This is something that should be logically resolvable. My brain is stuck though. Let's just cheat. So there is no mimic among the red boxes is wrong. I got too lazy to check through every variation. There's some goats somewhere in the rightmost row, somewhere in the top row. I hate all of these. We have two goats, so at most we can have two. So two of these combinations can be true, which with three mimics on the loose tells us fuck all. Because there being gold on the top row doesn't contradict there being gold on the right row. So there's nothing that's touchable until we open something else. Yeah, I had gold hints. Okay, that was a good chest to give me at least. There's some gold somewhere in the top row, so one of these isn't a mimic. And we know this is wrong, because this is correct. So there's no mimic in the black boxes. The blue boxes are all liars. Never trust the blue ones. Contradiction number one, contradiction number two. The box on the left is a mimic, so we can open everything else. Okay, so we have a mimic among the blue boxes, obviously. And there is a mimic among the black boxes, obviously. So these two statements are useless, we can infer that ourselves. The right row has more mimics than the left. Is this possible? Yeah, that's possible, so this chest doesn't give us anything useful right away. Seems like a 50-50. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. All of this is correct. No, we already know this is wrong. So this is wrong for sure. This is wrong and there's only one mimic left. This one is correct. So this, we just have this left, which seems like a 50-50. But we know right row has more mimics than the left. And there is one mimic here, so this has to be a mimic, else this box doesn't work. Didn't I sell this for a better one? The fuck? The fights are what's gonna end me this run. I think I'm just dead. Yeah, we're dead. GG. It wasn't even a mimic. I messed up other stuff on the way when it came to the combat. Contradiction here. Two boxes say the same stuff. Doing it manually. If this is correct, then these two are wrong. If this is wrong, then these two are wrong. That's a contradiction, so it's the other way around. The box on the left isn't a mimic. Oops, wrong chain. Yeah, that's just it. The other two are mimics. They're being shunned by the other mimics. Mimic among the blue boxes. Mimic among the... and we're done. Early ones are a bit slow-paced when you don't have any contradictions. These two are saying the same thing. Okay, so if these are wrong, that doesn't work, obviously. Because there is a mimic, meaning these ones have to be correct. So this is wrong and these are saying the same thing. That should be it. Hooray, a shop instead of a fight. Shops aren't too worth it in the early floors, because you can spend all of your gold, so it doesn't really translate to more value. On the later floors they're god tier because you end up with more gold than you can spend. Shockingly useless statements, so we just end up with a 50-50. Luckily this solves it. That can't be true. Hooray for cooperative statements. When they're covering each other, it helps. I'll skip the food again. Or maybe just take the small one. We're a bit penniless, so just one of these. And we'll go with for 20 health. Because if we don't, it's just going to cost us a potion later. Oh, the mimics are the same color. Upright is a mimic, so these have to be correct. There is a mimic among the black boxes is wrong, so the other two are safe, meaning that it's this. Okay, all done. Three chests saying the same thing. And then one of these is lying. We know this is a lie, so that only leaves us with one mimic. And since not all mimics are the same color, red is correct, which means this is the other lie. Well, that doesn't work. Oh yeah, not all mimics are the same color, right? So if this is a mimic, this cannot be a mimic. What am I missing? So if this isn't a mimic, because not all mimics are the same color, then this is wrong. Yeah, but it doesn't make that much sense either. Because not all mimics are the same color, and we only have 2 mimics. So if this is a mimic, and it is a mimic, then this cannot be a mimic, because it contradicts these boxes. Oh yeah, I'm just high. So red can be a mimic, so red has to be a mimic. The misreading virus. And then this is also a mimic. That's why I read everything 3 times. Until I don't and I die. Bottom row contains no mimics. There is a mimics among the blue boxes, which we instantly know is wrong. There is a mimic among the reds, so that's the other one. Okay, then. The good armor saves so many healing potions. Down left is a mimic. There is a mimic among the blue boxes. So this is basically saying the bottom row has no mimics. Because if this is a mimic, then this is a mimic, and then we have too many mimics. Meaning this is wrong, so this is correct, and this is wrong, and we're done. Oh, I failed to read something. The box on the left wall. I keep mistaking left and right. I treated it as if it's connected to this box, but it wasn't. Yeah, that's what happens when I don't read it the second time. I die. So I'm about the end of my reading stamina, so we're gonna end it after this run. Wait, what? The box on the right isn't a mimic. Okay, so that's the one that breaks off. The box on the right isn't a mimic. The box on the right. So, okay, it's these ones. Top row has at least 1 mimic. This can't be wrong. Other reason they can't be wrong is we have a contradiction here. Assuming this is correct, this could be false. Only thing we can assume is that one of these has to be a mimic. And if this isn't a mimic, then one of these two is a mimic. For example, this doesn't work, so it's not that. If this is wrong, and this is wrong, the leftmost column contains these works, for example. Is there any other version? We can have this. Okay, so now I need to check which chests are valid to open in both versions. Hooray, busy work. So either it's this chest, or this chest could be lying, and it could be like this. Do we have a version where this chest is wrong? That means that this one is right. Yeah, this version isn't possible, so this chest has to be right. which means this one is wrong for sure. And then one of these is a liar. No blue crystal, right? No blue crystal. Yeah, if I open the wrong chest, I just die. There are items that prevent that, but I don't get them often, because they are expensive. This is wrong, this is correct. And no way to tell there. Moving on. The shovel is going to be destroyed soon. Mimic among the black boxes, this is wrong. Two boxes are saying the same thing, so the right row has more mimics than the left is correct. Okay. I have never actually seen it mess up. I've seen combinations where I can't safely open any chest, but I've never seen it make something logically incoherent. I would definitely be interested in an interview with the developer going over the logic used. Okay, we have 3, so the ones in the center are wrong. They're being shunned. We're selling the armor because it's not worth repairing. It costs a lot of attack, so I might just die to a normal floor if I get it. That's why I mostly skip the charms on the early floors. Also, it's the worst feeling when you get a charm on the early floor and then use it on an early floor. If I get past floor 30 or so, then I'm going to buy them. Okay, so that's 3 boxes saying there's no mimic in the red boxes, so those should be safe. They're also useless for everything else. There's a contradiction here. One of these has to be right, meaning this one is wrong. And so, since that's all of the mimics, this one is correct. This should be it. Same number in top, bottom. Okay, they just really hate the other 2 chests on this floor. Venus. Maybe they just wanted to draw one. Who knows? Contradiction number 1. Upright from me is a mimic, so everything else has to be correct. There is a mimic in the blue box. Up left isn't a mimic, nothing in red boxes, same number of mimics in blue and black. The bow is carrying. One contradiction here. Okay, so never mind, even without the contradiction, these ones are correct. Because otherwise we get that, and there are too many. So these ones are correct, these ones are wrong, and everything else is right. A scythe for plants. Automatic. A mimic among black. No mimic black. Bottom row has more mimics than the top, which means this is wrong, so this is correct. And we'll know in a bit. There is goat in red boxes. Good floor, we only wasted one small potion. And we ended up with a bunch of money. Do we have a whetstone? We do. Even two. So we can afford to sell the other weapon. Hooray! Blue crystals, potions, and more attack. Yeah, if an attack is going to kill you, it asks you if you wanna go through. It's really useful. Contradiction there. So there's one mimic here, which means this is the mimic realistically. And one mimic here, so same number of mimics in top or bottom is correct. And then it should look like this. Because there's only so many mimics to go around. Same number in red and black. Same number in top or bottom. There are more mimics in blue than red boxes. Again, these are saying there are mimics in the red box, and these are saying there is no mimic in the blue box. So, if we treat this as a contradiction, can we get anything out of it? It would mean that this has to be correct. Same number of mimics in top and bottom. Which has two possibilities. Either it means that these are wrong. Okay, that doesn't work. Which means that these are both correct. Because not all mimics are the same color, so these two couldn't both be mimics. We know this is for sure a mimic, so there are not more mimics in red than black boxes. Which inherently means that there are less or the same number, which either way would mean 0. And this one is lying. Yeah, I knew it was safe. I was just explaining it. Black, so these two are... Oh, we're done. Okay then. That was the floor. The magic. You can think of the spell as reducing their health by 50% when they go from 2 shots to 1. Oh no, it's the goat bullshit. The worst kind of chest there are. Okay, diagonal upright from me is a mimic. So this can't be a mimic, because then we end up with 3 mimics. Diagonal down left from me has no goat. So these two agree. Okay, meaning this one's safe to open, because we have a mimic here. And we know there is no goat in this box. So we know this box is full of shit. And meaning this box is correct. I like how the sleeping box gave me an item to wake up the sleeping box. Thank you very much, that's so useful. And we have the super shotgun again. black boxes have no money. There's nothing that contradicts this one way or the other. Same number of mimics in red and black. There's some gold hiding somewhere in a blue box. Let's wake up the box first. Okay, that's actually really helpful. Because this can't be true, so it has to be like this. There's some gold hiding somewhere in the blue box is wrong. So we know that's one mimic for sure. Same number of mimics in black and red boxes is possible, but not necessarily true. There are more mimics in blue than black boxes. This is a lie. So this is correct, and not all mimics are the same color. The shotgun makes life so much easier. Full heal. Mimic star chest. What about that one? No charm, sadly. At this point I'd be happy to buy one. You can see I start actually having some leftover cash. This is true by itself, because it is part of the left column, so it can't be wrong. Two chests saying the top row has a mimic. One of these has to be a mimic, which means this is wrong. That's two mimics accounted for, so the other mimic has to be here. One mimic in a red box is correct, and this is wrong. Same number of mimics in blue and black boxes is correct, and not particularly helpful. One mimic is hiding in a black box. And we're done. Why top left is right? Okay, so the reason the top left was right last time is the same reason this chest is right here. There is a mimic among the blue boxes. If this chest is referring to itself, the same way the leftmost column has a mimic was referring to itself. If a mimic says there is a mimic among the blue boxes, while being blue, that means it's lying. So the actual truth would be, there is no mimic among the blue boxes, which is wrong. Mimics lie, but there is a logic to the lie. Lie just means the opposite of true in this case. So because it's saying there is a mimic in the blue boxes and it's referring to itself, it cannot possibly be a mimic, because then this statement would be a lie and we'd have a paradox. Same for the leftmost column earlier. If a box is referring to itself and is accusing a group that contains itself of being a mimic, then it necessarily has to be correct. In this mode of mimic logics anyway. There are modes where true boxes can lie and modes where mimics can tell the truth. But in the mode we're playing right now, they have to say the lie if they're mimics. Okay, let's just go back to reading. Useless, this one's correct. There is some goat in the blue box is correct. This one's a liar. And then we have some contradictions here. For the sake of expediency, let's assume these are wrong. That means everything else has to be wrong, which we instantly doesn't work. And then we have two of these which are correct. And then this is... Okay, that should be it. Just a quick double check. We have 2 gold left over. Okay, we know this is wrong because this box contains gold. We know this is wrong because fucking obviously, and we know this is wrong because this, so we don't care about any of the other boxes. Yeah, I was fairly sure it was right from the moment I went out. I was just double checking because I'm not in a rush, I'm not playing for the 7000 score, so we can take it slow, and there's no reason to die in a stupid way for the third time in a row. The box below me is a Mimic. And these ones are arguing together with them, so one of them gets implicated. So these two should be correct, I reckon. Because whichever one is a Mimic drags one of these two with it, and then there's not enough boxes left here. This one is also wrong. So this has to be right. Because one of these has to be a Mimic, no matter what. And the bottom row has more Mimics than the top, which should just be everything. Double checking time. These confirm each other. The box below me is a Mimic. The left row has more Mimic than the right. Lie. The box on the left isn't a Mimic. Lie. The box on the left isn't a Mimic. The rightmost column contains no Mimics. The bottom row has more Mimics than the top. Okay, let's see. Oh, one attack short. Have a knife or something. Healing potions are worth more than knives. Sleeper. Left row has more Mimics. So these are arguing. These are both accusing blue. These are saying the same things. There are more Mimics in blue than black and blue than red. This is very likely true, purely from the number of boxes, but it could always be some other way. We have something to wake up the sleeper? No, we don't. Not an option, I'm afraid. Okay, since there's two Mimics, let's... If these are wrong... explaining the logic here. This or this has to be a Mimic because they contradict each other. Assuming these two are wrong, then this one is also wrong. So these both cannot be wrong because they have supporting boxes. This can still be a Mimic, but these two cannot. And we know there are more Mimics in black than red boxes. So one of these for sure is a Mimic, so this should be safe to open. Okay, that's a start. There could be one Mimic here and... Okay, no, this is true. This has to be true because there is at most one Mimic in the black boxes. So there are 100% more Mimics in blue than black boxes. This is definitely a Mimic because it's nonsense, there's only one red box. The left row has more Mimics than the right. This can be true and false, or false, there's no way to tell. There are more Mimics in blue than black. Yeah, we have one Mimic left that's in one of the three blue boxes. Assuming this is correct, which is entirely possible, the left row has more Mimics than the right. The left row has more Mimics than the right. Okay, I think there's a direct solution. Because there's two of these. If these are wrong... Actually, they have to be wrong. No, never mind. I'm speaking nonsense. Assuming they're wrong, it looks like this. Same number of... and we get 4 Mimics. So they can... this one can be wrong. Because it produces 4 Mimics. So these should be safe to open, which means this is a Mimic. And then one of these is a Mimic and we'll blue crystal it. Because there should be no way to determine between these ones. Double checking, yeah, there's no logic we can use there. Crystal time. Do we need to use the super shotgun? Yeah, just barely. We have a whetstone, it's fine. Fists. Okay, same reason as before when you asked me a question. Why was the leftmost box correct? If this is a mimic, then it means this statement is wrong and then all of these boxes have to be correct. It makes no sense. So this box has to be not a mimic and safe to open. Okay, so this box is just referring to itself and it just says I am not a mimic. Those are often lies, but not always. There's no goat on the leftmost row. And all of the other statements are about fucking goat all over the place. It's possible that it's like this. So we cannot for sure determine that... Pardon. So if this is a mimic, or rather... If this is correct, it means that the mimics have to be blue, which is an instant contradiction where there is no mimic among the blue boxes, meaning this box is nonsense. Not all of the mimics are the same color, so this box is useless to us now. Yeah, I know there's only one goat, we'll get to that in a second. This meaning we now know this one is correct for sure. That sells for a ton of money. It's a big gold if you're wondering. But it is classified as an item. We know this is also wrong, so there's only one mimic left. Since there's only one mimic left, we know there's no goat on the bottom row. Okay, we're done. I actually figured out from the goat. I can't believe it. Use throwing knives to save on potions. Unlucky. No magic. What's the cheapest we can get away with? 2 of these potions are cheaper. Wait, how much damage does this thing do? Of course it works on the last attack, when I've already burned the potion. I haven't actually checked how much the diamond sells for, so let's find out. 1000, good to know. Yay, 4000 gold, we're set. Just buy everything, because why not? I think I already have a whetstone though. Yeah, we already have a whetstone. We don't need a second one. Still no charm though. I can technically skip almost everything and win. I just need a bit of healing. So take the bare minimum. No risks from here. Bottom row has more mimics, bottom row has more mimics. Top row has more mimics than the bottom. Left row, box below me. Okay, so box below me, box above me, these are just talking to themselves. We'll ignore them for a bit, but assuming they're wrong, then it has to look like this. Let's see if this makes sense. The left row has more mimics. This is wrong, so it doesn't work. So these boxes are probably correct. We're not gonna touch them for now, but we're gonna assume they're correct. And now, whether the bottom row has more mimics than the top. We know for sure there is one mimic here. So if this is correct, it means this column has 0 mimics, which is an instant contradiction. So this is very unlikely to be correct. This one's probably wrong. The right row has more mimics than the left. Okay, so we can confirm these boxes for sure, because there's a mimic here and a mimic here. So we know these have to be safe, which means this is wrong. Okay, now we can open everything. Okay, so here's why we can open everything. We know there's one mimic here, and one mimic here, and one mimic here. So this is safe, which tells us this is safe, and the right row has more mimics than the left. We know this is safe too. Since we know there's one mimic here, and obviously these are in contradiction. So that lets us open almost everything. The bottom row has more mimics than the top is correct, because there's nothing on the top. Hooray! One contradiction here. Two mimics, one mimic. Second contradiction. We only have 3 mimics, so bottom row has more mimics than the top for sure. These are safe to open. There are more mimics in black than red boxes, and one mimic is hiding in a red box. We don't see anything else we can safely open. Okay, so this is obviously wrong. No, never mind. I'm big high. Discard that thought. Let's see what else we can determine. Same number of mimics in left or right. This can be true or false. And there are more mimics in black than red boxes. This is possible either way. Only thing we know for sure is that the bottom row has more mimics than the top. Is it possible for the top to have 0 mimics? Then 2 mimics in blue boxes? No. Wait, that's backwards. There are more mimics in black than red boxes. Same number of mimics in left and right rows. So this is one possible variation. There's too many variations. Let's cheat a bit. So this is correct, so this is wrong. There are more mimics in red than black boxes. We know... No, don't open this yet. It can still be wrong. For example, you can have it like this. Same number of mimics in left and right rows. Then this is wrong, so that doesn't work. Okay, this version doesn't work. So the logic that follows from this box being wrong, and it actually being the case that both are red, it doesn't work. Which means that this box should be correct. Since we know one mimic is hiding in a red box, this one's correct, this is wrong. Same number of mimics in left and right, and there are more mimics in black than red boxes. It's impossible for there to be more mimics in black than red boxes, so this is definitely wrong, meaning that this has to be correct. Is the shotgun durable? Yeah, meaning we can safely take a hit. And then repair it. Contradiction number 1. There's some gold somewhere in the top row, bottom row. There are more mimics in red than blue boxes. This is incredibly likely, but not 100% true. And all of these are saying different things. Leftmost and bottom isn't even mutually exclusive. Let's assume this is correct. See if it gives us anything useful. If it's true, then this is definitely wrong. Yeah, I don't see anything. Whether from that one, there are more mimics in red than blue boxes. Let's assume it looks like this for a bit. Then everything else has to be correct, which doesn't work because of this contradiction. We also need only one red box for that to work. So, for example, it can look like this. That leads to a contradiction. So the blue box is almost certainly correct, because I can't get the boxes to line up where there are an equal number of mimics in blue and red boxes. I'll try one more time. Because we know this doesn't work. Yeah, I'm almost certain that the blue box is fine. Because there's one mimic in the red boxes for sure. So obviously we know there's a mimic in the red boxes. We already knew that, it's useless information. There's some goat somewhere. This isn't goat, so it doesn't tell us anything. Assume this is correct for a bit. Again, everything else has to be correct then. This is almost certainly the correct variation. Let's assume it's wrong and see how that works out. One mimic here. There are more mimics. If this is wrong, then there are more mimics in red than black boxes. With this one being wrong, this is entirely possible. I don't know, seems like a 50-50. Time to spam blue crystals. So since this is wrong, that's not too helpful. Ah, screw it. Okay, so we know this is wrong for sure, so there's only one mimic left. No, we don't know it's wrong. This is possible. We know this is correct at least. And this is correct. Leftmost and top. This is wrong. This is wrong. And since there's two here, this has to be wrong. There are more mimics in black than red boxes. The bottom row contains no mimics. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Actually, this is one of the last fights anyway. I should have just done this to start with. One contradiction. There's 3 goats, so there's nothing contradictory here. Assume these are wrong for the sake of convenience. This is definitely correct, so let's get rid of it. So if these are wrong, I'm just assuming that for convenience. Then there are more mimics in red than blue boxes. And not all mimics are the same color have to be wrong, so this has to be right. What if they're right? Then this is by necessity wrong, this is wrong. And then the rightmost column still Q has to be right. So this is right either way. We still don't know if there's something in the top or bottom. If these are wrong, it looks like this, which makes no sense, so they have to be right. So since these are right, we know there's 2 mimics in the red boxes and 1 mimic here. Otherwise these are wrong. So these are the wrong ones. And there's goat somewhere in the top row. Save health. Final puzzle. Oh, the mimics are black is what this one is saying. There are more mimics in black than red boxes. There are more mimics in black than red boxes. There are more mimics in blue than red boxes. There are more mimics in black than blue boxes. Oh, shut up. So essentially, this box, this box, this box are all kind of claiming that all of the mimics are in the black boxes. Okay. So we know all of the mimics have the same color, so that means these have to be correct. Which means this is correct. There's some goat in the top row. Confirmed. This is a... oh, actually, oh, that's all of them. Okay, we're done. We've opened 128 chests, so this guy gives us a bunch of extra candy. We sell everything we don't need and end up with 6,000 gold. So we can food the shop. Naturally, the last shop has a charm that is completely useless, as is tradition. Let's go. We can kill him in 4 hits. Items won't make a difference, so just drink potions as we need them. Okay, we won. His damage isn't high enough. Hooray for having 100 attack. Oh, done with this one. Only took us how much? About 2 hours, more or less. Okay, so we're done with the expert. I've done the one where you need 7,000 points on a different floor earlier. That will be it for today. Tomorrow we're doing the 50th floor random dungeon. Or maybe not tomorrow, but next time I stream this. Because I want to get all of the achievements. We'll get back to it at some later point. For now, good evening.